Are you good? You can hear me?
I can hear you well. Can you hear me?
I can hear you so good.
How about from here? Should I lean it? There we go.
All right, folks, welcome. We are still at AIM Expo, and I have a friend here, Jose Gallina.
Hey, guys.
Where are you coming from? Who are you? What are you doing here, dude?
Today, my badge is from MV Agusta, North America. So as some people know, I do work for MV Agusta North America, currently under the KTM structure, which actually, as of recent, is announced that is no more.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I'm not sure we're in the mix. Like, I get bits and pieces along the way, but I'm not sure what's happening with that.
Yeah, I'm free to clarify and everything, and I will in just a bit here. But yeah, I'm here with them. I've worked under the KTM structure since they took over, but before that, I also did work for the old structure of MV Agusta North America. Different management, different company as an importer, but I've been working for the brand for 6 years now.
Well, what's your title?
My title right now is marketing specialist.
Yeah, marketing specialist, fantastic photographer.
So the title, I don't get too wrapped up on titles or whatever. I kind of just, especially right now during this transition period, it's a lot of hats for everybody to wear, and I kind of just do a bit of whatever I got to do.
Yeah.
Positively, enthusiastically.
Well, because in America, in MV Agusta, it's a pretty tight-knit team.
Yes, always has been.
Yeah.
And even within the KTM structure, which is how we worked since September of 2022 until now, always there was like a separate dedicated MV team, which I was on.
Yeah.
And we used the extra resources and help from KTM on everything else inside of the whole peer mobility.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was an adjustment because I went from having like 5 guys I had to talk to, that's it, to having a team of 5, 6, 7 people at one point, and then having this whole extra team of support all around from doing events, setting up media bikes, sales, dealer support, after sales, customer service, everything. It was really cool. It was an awesome.
Well, and so as you guys kind of evolved through the process, where is it sitting now?
Okay, so I'm sure many people here maybe have seen the official press release. So MV Agusta is officially released from the Peer Mobility Group. But with that and in the contracts and everything, we have a transition period that goes all the way till about the end of July. So in that period, we just slowly scale down what they're doing and scale up on our own with the new investments and the new company that owns the half that KTM did once own.
Right.
So that's what we're working on now. But the way it's set up and the way it's going, it's going to be a completely smooth transition for everybody. For the dealers, like dealer support, totally smooth. Clients, customers, all the same. Everything is going to be the way it's been running under the KTM group through the transition, and then after it's going to be the same, if not better.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited for it, actually. It's after 6 years of, everybody, that's no lie, everybody who follows MV Agusta knows all the ups and downs of bankruptcies and this, right?
Yeah.
It's been happening. But after 6 years, it was incredible and really nice to have this stability with Pierre and the management structures and a lot of the things that we've learned from them are going to continue on and still help the brand, but it's time to go back solo.
So going back solo, does it feel like having, back in the driver's seat, as it were, like the creative control, like, is that exciting or is it a little daunting? Is it?
We have a good team. Again, like the team learned to work so well under this structure that now moving forward with the boss man Luca and everything, like we have it pretty locked. So we'll just switch out services that Pierre did for us for independent third-party things or just whatever, but no, it doesn't really change too much of what I do. I'm still just going to do all of what I've been doing, which is a lot. And I'm basically social media manager. I direct certain things, and but no.
Well, and as far as and I'll speak from just my own perspective because I certainly don't know all the nitty-gritty details. But from my vantage point, like you really have a fair amount of control over what MV Agusta looks like to the average American citizen.
Yeah, just because I manage social media, which is, in my opinion, right now, and I think in everybody's opinion, is the primary and the fastest way to reach all the people.
Yeah.
So in that sense, I do have a good degree of control. I'm very careful about it, but there's always consistent and constant communication with the marketing team all the way in Italy to make sure that everything is good and consistent. But here in North America, we are free, and I am free to do our own thing, as long as, you know, it's within the brand's guidelines.
Well, and so somebody that may not be so familiar with the MV Agusta brand, what is it? It's V Italian, it's V Fast. Like, give me a little breakdown.
You know, it's the premium Italian brand.
It's the premium Italian brand.
Just there's cool facts about it. Like, just under 79% of everything on the motorcycle.
Yeah.
It's right about there, about 79, just under, is Italian still.
Oh, okay.
It's made by it's made by, you know, all the third-party manufacturers that help. It's all like to put it, you know, into a cool perspective, like the same small family business that was making the plastic tanks that were on like an F4 back in 2000 are still making the plastic tanks that are on the 2022 or 2023, 24 Brutale right now. So in that sense, you know, there's some smaller companies that are really, really Italian, but I think of the majors, if you want to call MV a major, or companies that are doing production, like we are the most Italian one.
The most Italian,
and it's a sense of pride, and
absolutely.
A lot of people aren't too familiar with the brand for certain reasons. One, because of it's a little bit less known, but two, because of its price point and things. But if you do ever get a chance to check out an MV in person as a fan of motorcycles, you will see that they're expensive, but the value is there, and like just the way it's finished.
Yeah, absolutely.
A lot of, like, all the carbon fiber work is always 10 out of 10 on point. The paint, we take paint super seriously. Yeah. There's actually a motorcycle currently, the Rush Mamba. We had to delay production because it's like an 8-stage paint job. Yeah. And in certain months of Italy in the summer, it is just simply too humid to finish that paint job without it bubbling or getting messed up from the humidity. So we had to be like, all right, like everything else on the bike is done. All right, now the paint.
It's like a fine wine, dude.
It is.
Yeah.
They really are special.
Well, and just that attention to detail being what it is, like, you know, kudos to MV for really giving a shit to stay so quality. Yeah. And that's why it's just earned its premium price point.
Yeah. Yeah. And then that was the big thing.
Well, that's probably fair too, because it's like, you know, everybody wants to sell more bikes, but at the same time, MV sounds like they're like, we'd rather sell to the right person.
Yeah, there's definitely some of that for sure. We do plan to cap production globally at 9,000 around there, like when we finally get to there, and then that's it. Kind of like just like Lamborghini, Ferrari, and stuff. It's just capped, right? That's the goal, and it remains the goal with or without Pure Mobility. And yeah, I mean, it is refined and it is expensive for sure, but the value is there, and it is for that person that really wants to pay for it because they understand, and I'm one of those people, and there's a lot of those people, believe it or not.
Well, so what's been your experience like with that high quality, like being kind of not the face of MV, but like give me some stories, like who's riding these, where are these bikes ending up?
So that's a funny one. So in a way, it's kind of really separated from a lot of the scene, like the people we all know, you know what I mean? The people that are just revolving around and doing really cool stuff around other brands. Harley Davidson, Indian, Royal Enfield's been doing a lot of things. CF Moto now is in the game with a lot of budget, doing a lot of cool things. Yeah. Obviously, I grew up around that. You know, I've been a part of it for a while and stuff, but it's so different with our brand because I'm not selling you a 12,000, definitely not selling you a 12,000 motorcycle. There's only one motorcycle that has a 19 in front of it, you know what I mean? And that's at 19. How much is a Harley ST? Like 26,000? I think so. 27? Yeah. At 26, we only have like 2-3 models under that, and then the rest of it's all up from there, right? Yeah. So I couldn't just jump into the same channels of marketing and the same activities because it's tailored to a different kind of person, you know what I mean? Yeah. To some people, it's not that much, you know. To some people, the jump between a $12,000 bike and a $24,000 isn't that much. To some people, that's it. You can't jump. So I've had to be really creative, and it's always a difficult thing of where and how I market because it's very high end, but it's still motorcycling, and it's always a challenge. And we do have a lot of different kinds of clients though in that way, where there's really hardcore motorcyclists that ride every weekend and love their bikers that love MV, right? That's the brand they chose, just like you'll see with any other brand. You know, the other day I went and did a demo ride in Connecticut or something, and the dude had Kawasaki tattooed.
Oh, hell yeah, brother.
You know, and the Kawasaki faded t-shirt. Yeah. Like, there's guys like that for MV, and then there's the other guys that are more refined and whatever. There's actually a statistic that's funny, about 20% of our bikes never even get ridden.
Because they're pieces of art.
Yeah.
to be observed.
But they can be ridden.
They
And
can.
and that's actually something too that I also, while I'm maneuvering and seeing how I do things, that I have to also display, like, no, you can ride it. And that's been a thing a couple of times. Like my homie was bought one of our new bikes. It's a $70,000 bike, the Super Veloce 1000 Oro. And he was like, before he pulled the trigger, we were having lunch at his restaurant, and he's like, but can I ride it if I want to?
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, bro.
Please do.
Yeah, I'm like, please, you can ride it. And I
Yeah.
called my homie. I'm like, hey, ride yours over here. And he came over.
Yeah.
We were all looking at it. And yeah, so it's different and it's tricky. It's not a simple task. I can't just copy things that other people are doing.
Well, and then so your demographic as it is, when you do have to really identify those clever marketing things. So like I had the fortune of putting one of your bikes in a music video.
Okay.
You remember which one I put in there?
Oh yeah, it was can I say it?
Yeah.
Tom DeLonge and
Tom DeLonge.
the alien guy or whatever.
Big alien guy.
Big alien guy in the black Super Veloce.
Yeah.
In the music video in the desert.
And we had some riding shots with it. It was really cool, but
So much passion in the video.
I tell you.
People making out.
There's lots of stuff going on. It's Angels and Airwaves.
It was cool.
I was
yeah.
able to do a few, but
Thank you for that. By the way.
No, that was awesome, and just it's interesting because like that makes sense in my brain. Like that was a perfect fit for that bike and that kind of
Yeah.
music video. Like that's where it belongs.
Yeah.
Like, do they get a lot of placements like that? Do you get a lot of calls like, "Hey man, we have this thing." Like
That's one I'm struggling with too. It's funny as a brand, I know this stuff, like the back of my hand. And the F4, everybody knows the MV Agusta F4, right? That bike came out in '98. Was such an iconic motorcycle that bike was in a lot of movies, but it was simply because the director at the time knew, like, that is the top bike. That is what my hero is riding.
Yeah.
Then, there's been some lapses in the company and in marketing through even before I was there and stuff, that kind of like that status that the F4 had that captivated so many minds kind of dwindled. So I'm struggling to find, because you know how it is in production and stuff. If the director requests it and I can give it to him for free, it's all good. But if he doesn't request it, I'm like, hey, put this in. Then it's like, oh, well, how much can you pay? What can you do for me? Blah, blah. So the brand is, especially with the Super Veloce 1000, is definitely shifting back into capturing that essence of like having like the nice, like, wow, like that is the most beautiful, most expensive, most whatever bike. We're working back towards that. And I think in the next, if we keep going in the trajectory that we are going, in the next 2-3 years, we will have in the minds of enough people like that title again, to where that kind of stuff will start to come. It is
the premium Italian.
Back to me easy. I'll give props to whatever. I will give props to Ducati for being so good at putting their motorcycles in pop culture and in
so
movies.
With that common man, they go, "Oh, Italian motorcycles, so the Ducati."
Yeah.
What is that conversation like? How has that relationship like through the years been?
Yeah, it happens a lot. Or sometimes I'm like, I've gotten, what kind of Aprilia is this?
Yeah.
Or
You're like, not quite.
When I break it down to like the not the common motorcycles, but just the common gearhead, I go, hey, listen, like if Ducati is Ferrari, because they got beauty and racing dominance, and Aprilia is maybe, let's say, Lamborghini. Even though I think Aprilia does better at racing than Lamborghini, but whatever, that's subjective. I say that we're the Pagani, like Pagani. I don't know if you know Pagani. Are you familiar with Pagani?
I'm hip to it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Paganis are, $2 to $4 or $5 million cars. They're always like, colored carbon fiber, Italian design.
Yeah, you can take them to the track, but you can also just look at them and appreciate it.
Yeah, I mean, you can have a Wyra R or the Zonda R, and there's people that do private track days, and the whole team comes
Bless
out.
those people, man. Hey, give me a call. I'll come. Let me hang out.
But that's what I say. And as far as like fit and finish, Pagani's on a whole nother planet. So it's Koenigsegg. They're more like, actually, to be fair to Arch, they're like arches, because there's a lot of parts that are machined, like one-off parts, and they're very, very nice. But when you do park, especially our Halo bikes, like a Rush or a Super Veloce, next to a Pagani or Koenigsegg, it really does hold its own. Yeah. And I've curated and had shows at a cool spot called Ancillary Studios, which is in Costa Mesa. It's actually at the South Coast Plaza, like what a very luxury place, right? #1 gross revenue mall in the U.S. where I've placed, MVs and other exotic bikes of the like next to Paganis and Koenigsegg's and stuff, and it looked totally natural. Like it's where they kind of can punch up to.
Well, and what was your introduction? What brought you to specifically MV? Like it was a job at the time, but then when did it become more than that?
So growing up, my father is a pretty well-known restorer of Italian bikes. So he did the Italian singles from like the mid to late 40s all the way to the mid 60s. Yeah. There's a thing in Italy and in the U.S. In California called the Moto Giro. They like replicate the race that all the Italian teams did after the war in Italy on the singles. My dad was big in that. So growing up, like ever since I can remember, there was like 1 or 2 or 3 restoration projects. Oftentimes, one of them being in the middle of the living room, which I don't know how my mom did that. But most
Thanks,
of them,
Miss Gallina.
Yeah, super crazy. She's a saint for real. So yeah, always singles, but then also some cool stuff like the 1972 or 73 Imola 750 Ducati, which was a short. What they did to try to keep up with the Japanese two-strokes at the time is they shortened the stroke on the V-twin.
Right.
Just really special bikes like that. So the love for Italian bikes came from a young age. And actually, I learned to ride on the street, like around traffic and around cars, at about 15 and a half on a 1959 175 Super Sport Ducati. That was
Really?
Yeah, it was a client of my father's, and he loved me. And he's like, hey, this one. He's like, it's my race bike. It's kind of beat up. If you want to like ride, all you. He's like, don't worry. He's super rich, right? It's all you. Don't worry. So I learned how to ride on the streets on like a really, really, really cool bike.
Oh, you were fucked from there. You're like, well, I can't go back.
Yeah. And then so I was doing that.
Check out the CBR. You're like, nah.
So yeah, that's actually the funny part too, is my dad being one of those guys, and there's a lot of them out there that was like, Harleys are dumb. Don't ride Harleys, whatever. There's a lot of dudes that are like that. That's the funny part is I got really into Harleys for a while. I love Harleys as well, and that kind of
two wheels, man.
Two wheels is 2 wheels.
Yeah, absolutely.
That came from the punk rock side, right? I was a punk rock kid growing up, hardcore kid, straight edge, all that stuff when I was in high school, and that just came from that. Like when some of my other friends started kind of getting into bikes, and early, like around the time of like Born Free 2. I was like, I like customizing things. I like graffiti. I like art. I still do. And that spoke to me really big, and I just got pulled into that world for a while. And I was just loved. I still do. I love choppers. I love all custom bikes, whether choppers or whatever you want to call them. I call any custom bike a chopper because they kind of all are. But
chopped up.
You guys can flame me in the comments for that. We can get into a debate on what a chopper is, but it's
neither here nor there.
Well, but yeah, then as I got older, I never didn't like Italian bikes, but I just kind of segued back into it, and I love them both to this day. And right now I own nice Italian bikes and Harley Davidson choppers.
Well, and then so the job opportunity came up. You were already the artist as a shooter. You already like had an eye for motorcycles. You already worked in the space. You were familiar with riding from a young age. Yeah. And then what was it? A call? An ad?
So because of my dad, I would always hang out at Newport Italian, which was an Italian dealer right on Newport Boulevard. Yeah. Right kind of across from where Ducati is now. I was always hanging out there. And then, again, in one of the cycles that MV had, a new CEO came along, and they're like, we want to do a press release. We want to do a press ride. We need a photographer that's like a little different, a little more style. And he recommended me. That was like January 1st or 10th, whatever, 2015, I think.
Was that Jason?
The CEO. No, it was this lady, Helen, at the time.
Oh, okay.
And she did a whole thing, and I was the photographer, and she's like, man, this guy's like really on it. So then she hired me to start doing social media, graphic design, blah, blah, blah. I actually started the MV account that is still the MV USA Instagram. I started as a contractor when I was like over 10 years ago. Started doing that here and there, and then when the next CEO, it's always like I get these funny cycles of new people in charge. When one of them happened in 2016, the company actually had gone bankrupt. Like AMG had come in, and then AMG left. AMG, like the Mercedes. Right. AMG left, and the new CEO at that time came, and he asked Italy, like, hey, I need help in marketing. And the guy that was like the director at the time, this guy Matteo Moressi, he's a great guy. He was like, hey, reach out to Jose Gallina. Like, he knows what's up. Like, he's young, but he knows what's up, right? And this was in like 2018. Yeah. And what I did, which was actually pretty cool, I decided to go to IMS when it used to be in Long Beach. Yep. So November 2018, I believe. And I just went to the CEO. I'm like, hey, what's up? I'm Jose. He's like, oh, you're that guy? I'm like, yeah. And he's like, I need you. He's like, January 1st, 2019. He's like, you're on. I was like,
that's
cool.
tight. Well, it's such a awesome experience to have, the desire and drive to go do the thing, but to introduce yourself to the guy, and him already know who you are. You don't have to like, hey, so I'm this guy. I do these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, the conversation
Like
already happened.
Yeah,
literally.
I can optimize it.
I'll just get your email. And totally.
Yeah. No, yeah, it was like that, and he just was like that. He's like, I already know. He's like, you're good. January 1st. Like, so I started as a 1099 because there wasn't really much structure back then. Started as a contractor, and then since then just carried on. And every bless me, and it's it's due to my efforts and what I've been doing, but it's also due to my desire. I've rolled and made it through every leadership change, and I've been a positive asset.
Kudos to you, because you do, one, you have the skills, like you don't, you're worth your weight, and I see how hard you work and what you do for the brand.
For sure.
The brand carries itself because it is as fine Italian as it needs to be, but what you do here in the States is impressive, and I've always appreciated it. And any excuse I can get to get one of those bikes and to shoot, I'm always down,
Oh, yeah. Let me know in advance anytime you come to California. There's always several press bikes that are around.
Oh, I'll be calling.
I try to keep one or two if I can. Right now, but no, I try to keep them at MV LA, which is our flagship store in Santa Monica.
Yeah.
It's the first flagship store in the USA. I'll keep one or two there because it's close to LAX, and it's definitely fun. Yeah.
And for those at home that don't know this is an option, if you have enough friends in the motorcycle space, you could just call them and borrow bikes.
Yeah.
Because I always like to say, like, my favorite bike is somebody else's, because I can ride it and then give it back.
And I'm one of the positive ones. Like, there's people that are like, you know who they are. And I'm like, I do what I can. Like, I'll be like, hey, I'll deliver it in my truck if I have to. Like, whatever. Like, let's get you to ride it, especially if they're just giving me, free content, free promotion, whatever.
Flying in.
Heck yeah.
Cheers to Vana. Hey.
I got my Gatorade.
Counts.
It's fine.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Well, I've been super excited to get my space here expanding in here at AIM, but having you as one of my first guests was awesome. I knew coming over here, because for whatever reason in my head, I know you're in SoCal, but at the same time, MV was here in Las Vegas for a while, right?
Yeah, it's funny. So again, with every, I call them regimes at this point, change, everybody moves it somewhere. So Old was in Bristol, Pennsylvania. Then someone did come that wanted to move
Bristol,
it. So,
Pennsylvania?
Yeah, I don't know.
That is so specific.
Yeah, it's super funny. And then someone did
They're known for their great riding,
Someone did come and wanted to move it to Las Vegas, but it never fully did. So then it kind of like bounced back to Bristol, Pennsylvania. Right now, it's obviously in Murrieta at PR HQ. Now with the thing, it might stay in Murrieta, or it might move to Los Angeles.
Yeah.
But with that, I do have really, really, really good skills over the last 6 years of working completely alone and completely remote.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I joke, I'm like kind of like a one-man agency, like a little micro one-man.
Honestly, though, that's what I see, and how I work in the motorcycle cycle space, and then whether it's Ducati or Triumph or any of these, and the number of people I have to deal with. Specific to you, you are literally just that. Like it's you.
Yeah, I can do a lot. Luckily, I have the skills.
You got a lot of hats.
Yeah, but it's fun, man. I like it, and I've learned a lot, and I have a lot of positive alliances, and a lot of people I work with consistently, and whatever, and it's nice. I have been also like you, and I thank people like you for that. I do get phone calls or run into someone, and they kind of recognize and tell me like, hey man, like you're always hustling, you're always like working.
Well, and being it consistently, like integrity, dude.
Trying.
How hard is it just to be honest and just work with integrity? Because then I don't need to see you for 2 years, but I know who you are.
Yeah. And
as a man, I'll see you 2 years again. I know nothing's changed. Like, good to go.
Yeah, I do my best with that, especially with like the loaner bike stuff. If people hit me up, hey, I'm coming to California in 2 weeks. Like, can I get a bike? If I know for sure it can't, I'm like right away, like, hey, I would really love to, but right now it's all tied up. I'm not gonna string you along. I promise you. I'm sorry, but this time I can't. Just like, cause some people will just be like, oh yeah. 2 days before your flight, you're expecting to land in LAX, like Uber over to a motorcycle, and like everybody starts disappearing. Yeah. It happens to people.
Hello? Hello? No, hello?
Oh yeah, this other person picked it up.
Oh, sorry about that.
That guy from Cafe Racers on Instagram, he picked it up.
Where you at, Chang?
I saw him, that's why I said that. I brought him a Super Veloce one time. It's funny, too, because it was, like, already with somebody else. Yeah. And I'm like, bro, if you want it, come to my dude's house. We just finished the ride. You can take it from his house. He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, that's the only way, bro.
If you want it, come get it.
Yep.
That makes sense. Yeah, everybody's turning up here today.
Yeah, it's cool.
Well, if you had, your cake and you could eat it too, what is the future for Jose?
I do want to see. A cool thing is MV Agusta was profitable in North America this last year. I want to see it be like ultra successful. Like I want to watch the factory get to 9,000 unit production. I want to see people waiting to get their bike. I want to see people like, I can't get one because
I'm on the list.
I'm on the list.
Yeah.
That's one of my things that I would like to contribute to in life. And then separately, I don't want to be like I want to like fade away and just work at a good cadence that's like just doing positive things. I've been a lot, like the last 4 or 5 years, just a lot bigger on the positivity and what it really means to be a good motorcyclist and a good like steward of the hobby. If you want to call it a sport, that's fine. If you want to call it a hobby, if you want to call it a passion, like a community, whatever it is, like I opened up more every day. I wake up and I open and expand my field of view, and I want to understand more of the motorcyclists, and I want to help people that are already in it be better. I want to help them gain. Actually, I always have these ideas of making like a book that like, it's like, hey, you just got into motorcycling, read this book and you'll be like as experienced as a 5-year motorcyclist.
Okay.
There's all those little things, and it's hard to even think of them that you go and learn. You know what I'm talking about? You learn along the way that you can only learn by like effing up, being in a shitty situation, and spending money, breaking something. 100%. That maybe would have been cool if like your dad wasn't a motorcyclist or something.
Well, it is. You're not the everyman in the community in my perspective, because there is a lot of gatekeeping.
I hate that stuff.
But that's reality, and so a lot of the like new riders that want to know and learn and expand or whatever that may be, there's sometimes a hill to climb where it can be a little too daunting.
Yeah, or classism.
If they had a cool book,
Yeah, or like, I don't like that stuff. Like sometimes people are like, well, that guy's really fast. I'm like, okay, well, can he send an email and like be on time?
Yeah.
Like, cool. It's just like difficult, like and I really do. In everything that I do, especially in the position I'm in, I wake up every day and I zoom out and I try to like envelop more and grab more perspective so I can be a better motorcyclist, be a better person to promote motorcycling, but also be better for my brand and all my other projects, whatever I may be doing. Yeah. Because I think with social media, some things got a little too niche and clicked up, and I think some people get missed. Some people I think don't know where to go, what to do, and I also try to let people know that it's like, dude, it's okay. And a lot of people are on this, but some aren't. Like, it's okay to like choppers and exotic Italian bikes and own both and ride both 100%. And not change your outfit when you ride either of them. I wear the same outfit. It doesn't matter which bike I'm on. Like, just me.
I might not wear my silly half-shell helmet on a Super Veloce.
Yeah, okay, the helmet will sometimes change. It more has to do with like the speed of a Harley versus the speed of an exotic bike. I'll choose my much sleeker helmets that cut through the wind for the bikes, but that's sport bikes. But it's definitely something I try to. And I'm sure you know, or maybe you know, that I have that zine I do, Speed Milk, and it's all like encompassing. It's kind of funny. It's kind of selfish, but it's just what I like. I just put whatever I like in it.
Dude, that's what's important, yeah.
GT3 race cars, exotic sport bikes that are like built to the tits, Harleys that are super nice, tasteful things, people that have a unique perspective and an original perspective. Yeah. And a level of excellence, something that sings to me for whatever reason. Like I said, I'm the editor, and it's whatever. I just choose what I want.
He's a man of culture and taste.
Kind of, but some of the stuff isn't. Taste is so subjective that it's just what I like. But luckily, and kind of enough people like it. I actually am always surprised by how many I sell when I print a new one.
I think anytime that you can lean into what your own identity and likes and dislikes are, that's the authentic way to be.
Yeah.
And you placate to everybody, then all of a sudden you have what everybody else has, and then it's like boring and basic.
Yeah. There's things like that where I don't have to, that it's my thing, and I don't have to answer to any advertiser. I don't answer to any. I mean, there are people that paid for advertising, actually. We run Motul.
Congratulations.
Motul. Thanks, Motul, several times. It's a cool. So, and then they made an ad that's specific to it, because I said I like GT3 race cars and sport bikes. There's an ad, Motul ad. It's got their Porsche, their GT3 racing Porsche, a sport bike, and a Harley. It's like perfect for the magazine. Like, sweet. Just do it for the passion, for the fun. We mentioned this guy earlier.
Oh, shoot. Mr. Chang.
Mr. Chang.
He'll end up on here soon. Well,
Cool.
I'm always stoked to see you wherever
Yeah.
we are. And I'm excited to have you back on here at some point. But this is the time of the show where you can pump, and you kind of did with the zine, but to your camera right here, whatever you're excited about coming up, something that you want to throw out there is your time to shine.
Yeah. It's part of the show. So right now, just talk about
you
whatever.
want it, dude.
All right, fine. I debated this one when I thought about what I was going to say. I want to give thanks. And, one thing that I did mean to say in the beginning, dude, and I forgot, is that I'm just a guy, and I just hope that this podcast inspires somebody or lets somebody open their mind or do something. But I am just a guy, and if you did spend the time to listen to me, I thank you. Like, seriously, because I'm just a guy.
Same sentiment.
And I do hope that if you learn something, that's sweet, take it and expand and make motorcycling better. And back to what we were saying is I did want to give people shout-outs, but I'm terrified of accidentally missing somebody. So if you feel like I missed you, it's not personal at all. It's just I love and I like what so many people are doing in every area of the industry. But, big one for sure, and great guy like Heath Coffrin. Obviously, everybody knows him.
Huge fan of Heath.
Guy is like always
greatest skin in the game. Holy shit,
dude! Always dressed right. His hair, holy.
He's like 75 years old.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it says it's for 77, right?
Yeah, but just that skin, you just like, dude, he's like in his 20s.
He's always in like the red Alpine Stars van. Like he's always just like. He's always proper. His emails are answered so fast.
Super
like
kind
that are superstars. This guy right here, Oliver Jones. That's the cut rate. He's one of the better bike builders of our time that's currently alive, and I quote me on that for sure.
Excellent.
Like Guardados, obviously, Sean and Aaron.
Yep.
Unique style, precision, great taste, original taste.
Good humor.
Good humor. Yeah, good humor. Too good. Man, Yaniv from Power Plant, I don't know if you know him. Always his choppers were incredible. That guy is super talented craftsman. And then he started doing the FXRs, and they all match in this kind of way, and I just get off on it. Like, they all match each other. It's amazing. Scott Jones, old Noise Cycles. I don't know if you guys remember him. Great guy. But I could go for hundreds and hundreds. Ben Tazi from Bell Helmets. Just the people that are always there, and they're always, enthusiastic and competent.
Supporting.
And excited about their job and about supporting motorcycling. And again, if I miss you, please, it's not personal.
That's when you
I'm on the
should.
spot. I
You
should
know
have
who
made a
you
list.
are. You know who you are.
You do know who you are.
We appreciate you.
And I should have made a list. I mean, even, dude, my boss, Luca Dovezzi, he's head of North America.
Dude, you could just text me a list, and I'll just put it at the bottom of the screen. It'll just scroll by.
It'll be really long.
It'll be like
Just scroll
Star
quick.
Wars.
But yeah, even my boss is just as enthusiastically maniacal about me about making MV work in North America, and it's awesome to work. You know the people that are like boss versus leader? He's a leader.
Yeah.
He's like, we're going.
We're going.
Making it happen.
You're not just punching a time card.
Oh, hell no, we can't. Nobody can. We got it. It works because we make it work for sure.
Well, cheers to you, brother, with that attitude. I think you guys can do it.
I hope so.
Maybe I can help out a little bit.
Make MV Agusta great again.
Let's go. All right, man. Well, I appreciate your time. Enjoy the show, and then until next time.
Where's
Thanks
the camera
for
now?
this
Thanks,
one.
guys.
And until our next guest, we'll see who it is.
Yeah, let's go find someone together.
Cheers. Hell yeah.